What up guys, Fojo here, and today I'm coming to you with another New World video, and today is going to have some spoilers on it, so if you do not want to have this spoiled before the next update comes out, probably don't watch this, or just wait and watch until later. But it's a video where I wanted to show this because it's kind of cool, we get to see the before and after of this while it's happening, and I also am excited about it, so I wanted to talk about it and make sure you guys get to hear about it. But real quick, if you guys could like the video and subscribe to the channel, it would help me out so much. About 80% of you guys are not subscribed to the channel, and if you could do that really quick, that would help me out a ton. And if you could also leave a comment about what you think about this. Is this a really cool storyline? Are you excited about the new enemy in New World? What do you think is next? So some of this is from the PTR, some of this is from the live game, just kind of comparing both and where they're at, and looking at some of the update that's coming. Because not only is there a PvP reward track and a 3v3 arena coming to New World, there's also some updates on a new enemy, an enemy that's been kind of here the whole time, but not really out in the front, and now it's kind of being brought to light. I think this may be the next plot line for New World. I'm really excited because I think they did a really good job with it so far. And yeah, so I hope you enjoy this. It's just a quick update and comparison about New World and the Varangian Knights, is I think how you pronounce it, and the new quest line that comes with them and where they're located and what's going on with them. But as you can see, I came and checked out this new area. It's kind of set up in the ruins in Everfall. There is this area where it used to just be tents and it was set up normally. There's not a lot there, a few enemies, but now there is a whole new Varangian camp set up here, and there are new Varangian enemies as well. There are now Varangian hounds, which can actually catch up to you as a player. You cannot outrun them. They will catch up to you. They have haste. They also have enemies with spears, hammers, mages, and the hounds, I believe, are the four new ones. And it's very exciting because the hounds, I was very surprised they caught up to me and started to attack me. But the mage, the problem is a lot of these are lower levels, and so it's hard to fight these and kind of get a feel for them. But I know that they do have the attacks of normal players, so like a spear can attack with multiple spear attacks a player would have, as well as a hammer or whatever weapon they're using. They can actually attack with those set attacks that they normally would have. And so they make them a little difficult to fight in groups or just in general if they're a higher level. But it's nice to see some enemies that have a different set of attacks and can actually do what players do. But this whole area has been changed. There are new parts of the ruin. There are Varangian knights trying to get into this space, and there is a trap door you have to set off and run to as fast as you can and able to get into it. If you go too slow, you will not make it in. As you see the first time, I go too slow and I kill the enemy before I get over there, and I can't make it into the door. But I think it's so cool they added this in. It's kind of a little thing, a little touch here and there, but like it's so cool. Or this will be part of the game soon. I think more and more stuff like this added to the game will add so much to it. I don't know what happened at New World, but it seems like their storytelling is getting a lot better. Going through these missions, I had a lot of fun. There was funny parts, there was good parts that I didn't understand were going to happen, and I just wasn't ready for such a good storytelling to occur. I will say I'm guilty of going through storylines and just blowing through them and not reading the dialogue, not doing anything. There's a lot less to read in this, so you don't have to read a ton of paragraphs to understand what's going on. Obviously, there are some long ones, but it seems like you don't have to read quite as much to understand what's happening, and you still understand what's going on in the storyline. And it seems like a lot better storytelling than they've had in the past. Originally, when I came to New World and was playing through, I didn't really know that Isabella was the enemy or that she was the problem. Really, like I just thought she was a boss in a dungeon that I had to fight. So getting better storylines like this makes me really excited about the game and where it's headed, because this storyline actually feels like an original storyline that they've come up with, and it's really good. All the quests that I did were tied together well, and they all made sense. And I was pretty excited to actually do this. Right now it is on the PTR, so if you want to check it out, that's where you can go look at it. It's not perfect, obviously. It's on the PTR. There's still some issues with it here and there. But these quests have everything in New World from quest lines and storytelling standpoints. I feel like I'm more in the storyline and a part of it. And these new enemies, which I hope these are the new enemies for New World, and they kind of become this new thing that we have to fight and figure out how to defend against these new enemies. But I think that would be really cool because I understand like the corrupted and the lost and all these things, but having a human enemy as an element in this game would be really cool. I think that's an interesting thing to do, considering we really don't have one right now. Our only human enemies are ourselves and other factions, right? We're warring over the area, but we're not really doing anything other than that. I just think it's really interesting that there hasn't been a human element other than like the players and warring with each other yet. But having people to fight now, I think is really cool and interesting to do. And I hope they become the new enemy, the new major enemy in New World, and we can find out more about these people, where they come from, what's going on. Maybe at some point we can expand to where they're from and go to their lands and fight. The possibilities with this are just so massive. You can do so many things with this, and I'm really excited about it. If you can't tell, I mean, 3v3 arenas is really cool, and I can't wait for that too. Like I really want to see how that plays out, how the reward track goes. I'm really excited about where this could go. And it seems like it's kind of in the background. Not a lot of people are talking about it or looking at it right now. But I think it has a lot of possibilities with it. It could really grow into something interesting for players and a cool storyline to follow through. Now, through these quest lines, again, like I said, there's a lot of spoilers in here. So if you don't want to have this spoiled for you, want to play through it yourself, please turn it off. Don't listen to me right now. I don't want to ruin your gameplay of this. I'm excited about this and I want to tell you guys. But basically, the second part of this quest line takes you to a castle, and many of you have probably seen this already. Out in the middle of nowhere, there was a fortress that was set up, and it was empty for a long time. There's a bunch of bobcats in it for a while for some reason, and then now it's actually the Varangian fortress, and so you can go all the way around this and cross the bridge, and it's this full-blown fortress at this point. It's massive. It's way bigger than I thought it was going to be. It's got multiple levels to it. Cave is cut out of the walls. There's cannons on the walls. I just didn't expect something this big from this update, and it seemed like they were kind of downplaying that the Varangian Knights are even here and that anything's happening, which they're probably doing on purpose. But it's really cool because there's this massive amount of content that they're adding to the game without people understanding that it's even there. And yes, it's a lower level, so it's not as important or interesting for a lot of people. But I think it's really cool to go through here and actually play through this and see what they've done. It seems like they've done a lot of work in trying to make the storylines better and trying to make quests more fun for people. I've got to say, I had a lot more fun with this quest and these quest lines than I did probably the majority of the quest lines. I didn't have a reason to follow them very closely. I didn't have a lot of fun with them. But this one really pulled me in and it was a lot of fun. But this place is huge, like I said. There's so many different little things that are tucked away in here. You can find different things in here. There's a couple of chests in here for lower levels if they want to grab them. But this place is very intricate. It's very interesting. It kind of climbs up all along this rock face. But there are a ton of enemies in here. If you're a lower level, it's going to be a little tough to get through here. But as level 60, it's no problem. You just kind of wipe these guys out like it's nothing. You run through here and complete the quests. The fact that they're adding this much content and this much storyline and quests to New World without saying anything about it, they kind of just said, the Varangian Knights are going to be changing and things are going to be happening, but they really didn't say anything big, and it's kind of tucked away under this PvP blanket of things happening. Now, there are multiple locations like this that have popped up around New World, and the Knights are on the beaches and in a few caves around New World as well, so you can go check those out in the quests. But this is the main fortress for them and where they're at. I found this really interesting and I thought it was really cool. But I won't spoil too much about the quest and what it's about because I just don't want to ruin it for anybody. I just wanted to share with you what's going on in New World and what's happening in the PTR right now. I thought this was really awesome and I'm excited about it. So I hope you guys jump into the PTR or hold out and play this when it comes out because it's a lot of fun and I thought it was great. I think the storylines were really good. I think they did a great job telling a story here, and I'm excited to see what happens with the Varangian Knights and if they become the big New World enemy, or if they're an enemy that's just going to be kind of a pain for us while we fight corruption and all these other enemies. But that's all I wanted to share with you guys. I just got really excited about this. I thought it was very interesting, and I don't often share things from the PTR because I want to keep them under wraps for people. I don't want to spoil anything for anybody, but I just kind of wanted to show off what's going on in New World and the PTR and how much hard work they're putting into this because I'm very impressed with how much they put in without telling anybody they were going to do it. This is just kind of a thing they did and didn't even mention it. But yeah, the quests feel a lot more fluid. Like you actually do things in short bursts to where you actually feel like you're doing stuff in the quest. and it feels like it's not this across the map thing you have to deal with. It's more of a step by step process. I need you to grab this and bring it to me. I need you to go do this, and then we'll do that. You're kind of working with these people instead of just them sending you somewhere to grab something and bring it back to them. So I felt very invested in the actual quest lines instead of feeling like I needed to be sent somewhere to grab something as an errand. It just felt better as a quest and felt more involved, and I really enjoyed it. And hopefully, I didn't spoil anything for anybody. I hope you didn't watch it if you didn't want it spoiled and didn't want anything to be seen. But I was just very excited and wanted to share this with you. I'm excited for the direction that New World's heading, and I think their storytelling is getting a lot better. And I think that this is a good sign for where we're headed. And if they keep making smaller updates underneath everything else that they're putting out, like this, it'll be exciting to keep getting content from New World. But thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. Real quick, if you guys could like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment about what you think about this. Do you think that these are the New World enemies, and are we gonna have to deal with these guys very soon, or are these just a side quest for us to get distracted? Is the storytelling getting better in New World? Are we headed in a good direction? Let me know in the comments what you think. We'll have more videos out soon. I hope to see you there.